the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, here with an epic episode, one that will set the pace and tone for the year. Today, as you know, is a colossal day in America, something that a lot of people have been waiting for an incredibly long time. That is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You guys guessed it. That's right. Very special day of the year. Happy Martin Luther King Day, Jr. Day to you. And let's what's going on? What are you guys laughing about back there? Did I miss something? I promise you I didn't miss it. I saw the whole thing. Watched it with a cigar. Hey, listen, my name is Tim. I'm the host of this show. And all of you watching at home, you are the co-hosts. My heart goes out to you. And this episode's going to be epic because of all of you. So drop your cigar comments and questions down below. This is the episode to have the conversation during, because tonight we delve into the topic of beyond the hype of top 25 cigar lists.
You forgot, didn't you?
I did forget. Well, I knew what the episode was about. I just forgot the wording of the title because
You can't just look up above where you show and it says the title.
It does say it at the top of the screen. You're right. But that's even further away from the camera. Listen, I named these episodes, and ChatGPT 1 has a longer memory than I do. All right, let's cruise through this. Here's the pitch. Here's the spiel. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Spiel us. Top 25 lists every year. I slam, bam, wham, thank you, ma'am, these lists because they get so much wrong. And what they effectively do in the cigar world, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you guys, this chaps my hide. They create this hype. They generate this overwhelming desire for these cigars that may or may not be the ones out there that are really worth everyone's attention. And so tonight I want to take you guys through some of the cigars that have appeared on the top 25 list, along with a litany of other things in the cigar world that we are going to talk about. Did we get your red light on?
We did not get
He's not in the red light district.
Oh no, the red light district. Well, let's get that on for him.
Let me go grab that.
Of course, I can't run this show by myself. So here to help me do this tonight is the cast and crew of Cigars Daily Live. The first sitting behind the camera is Billy, the cock of the walk. Yeah, it's looking good. All right.
There we go.
Get it on straight.
I haven't seen a beanie with a brim in so many years. Like, it feels like 2006 in here right now.
Here.
And of course, sitting next to him is El Rey del Terrence.
Oh, it's because of the jacket.
yeah, because of the jacket. You're like business casual deliverance tonight.
Right? I was like, is it because I have a pretty mouth? I'll take that.
Yeah, you do have a pretty mouth. And of course, sitting behind the camera in the corner of the room is Ryan, defender of the flat earth. He's like a villain on the old Batman. You remember that, right? The old one with Adam West?
Yes.
The old Batman?
I mean, I wasn't around when it was on, if that's what you're asking. But yes, I am aware of the show.
Where's the red remote?
Because he was too busy working then. He wasn't
Is
around.
it hidden? If his red light's not on, that's going to bum me out. I spent like $30 on that red light. All right, whatever. We're in the middle of a show. The show must go on. The show must go on. Ryan will do what Ryan does,
Just do
which
it
is
normal lighting.
Yeah, normal lighting.
No red lighting.
Chair. Okay. Well, I'm not supposed to say it into the mic, I guess. You said it away from the mic.
I did say it away from the mic.
I want to start with this. Billy,
Yes.
please, sir, get us a comment.
We got comments. We're going to start here because this
I
is
want
a
you to
great
read
point.
it so I can focus the camera and do what I do.
This is
Cigar
Cigar
Yams.
Yams.
Happy Milk Day, Tim. Does the CD fam get time and a half for being on the show today?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
nothing makes me crazier than when people ask me questions that if I don't answer them the right way, that it makes me look bad, even though the answer's not yes. Listen, these guys get money in exchange for sitting and drinking my booze and smoking my cigars.
Wait,
And now you want me to pay
Wait.
them time and a half?
you guys get paid for this? When the hell do we get ice cream?
Now look what you did, Cigar Yams. You ruined the whole thing. All right.
Can I
I'm
request
gonna call my
Juneteenth
union
off?
rep.
All right, Billy, take and read a comment so I can focus the camera.
Yeah.
Somebody mute Cigar Yams or something.
This
Smack his
is
hands.
this is a specific question for Terrence.
For me.
This is MTL Cigar Conductor. I have a question for Terrence. I recently smoked a Rocky Patel quarter century and now can't get any more. Any recommendations for a similar flavor profile? If anyone's going to know, it's going to be you.
Man, that's a BS because I've never had that cigar. Hold on.
You
I'll do
failed
a
him.
little bit of research. And you said Rocky Patel.
Rocky
quarter.
Patel quarter century.
Let's look up let's look up the makeup of the cigar real quick. Oh, that's a lot of words. All right. Robusto, San Andreas wrapper, Nicaragua. I would say a My Father Fonseca Mexico edition, which is going to have a similar wrapper to that. If this cigar doesn't have a whole lot of pepper, then I would say the Ramon Ayones from AJ Fernandez. I think that's going to be a fantastic blend for you as well. And then last but not least, because I like prime numbers, I would say the Cohiba Riviera is a nice new fun,
Riviera. Okay.
a nice cigar right there.
A nice cigar.
Nice. I
Okay,
was stuttering.
Terrence.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's keep cruising. Get me another comment, Billy. This one's from Bubble Bunny Cigar Witch. She says, "Is Terrence wearing capris today? Did you wear capris as promised,
Nope.
Terrence?"
No, I did not wear capris because I like my job, but just full length pants today, guys.
Full length pants and some boots.
We
Thank
can
you for
turn them
coming to
into
work with
capris.
pants on.
I mean, yeah, I could just roll them up 4 or 5 times and boom, man
Yeah.
breeze. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into some top 25 cigar list business here. We're going to see, do we slam the list? Do we tell them that they're terrible and go back to the drawing board, start from the beginning, try everything again and let us know? Or do we affirm that they've in fact figured out what cigars should be on the top 25 list? I don't feel like I was horrifically disappointed, but there's a few things we got to clear up first. Around the studio, we have all got cigars from top 25 lists. Now you can learn more about the top 25 lists, the cigars that are on them, and everything like that when you visit the community on Cigars Daily Plus and when you watch this episode on Rumble. And so we're going to be going to both of those places for the after party in just a little bit. But the first thing is I want to tell you guys about what's coming up in March. Big, huge deal. And that is Daily Con. We really need a board for that kind of stuff, dude.
Do you
Like
want me
a-
to have another soundboard, Tim?
No, I feel like if we have a board, then I have to wear headphones. Like I like the fact that when we do this, none of us wear headphones. We're all just in a room and talk to each other like normal human beings, and then poorly read comments. And I feel like that's what Cigars Daily Live is all about.
That's what it's about.
Poor reading of the English
We're not
language.
Joe
in its
Rogan
basest
yet.
Form.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got Tim Math, Tim English. Like, come on.
Can't change the winning formula. Gotta leave
Yeah.
it be.
Plus, if we put any more technology in this room, we're going to blow a breaker. There's certain things on this room that if we turn them on, it'll blow a breaker. And Ryan knows full well what I'm talking about. All right. Daily Con is coming up March 29th. Opportunity to hang out with Eric Espinosa and myself and the whole Cigars Daily crew at the HQ. This is going to be a big one. Eric Espinosa is going to be out here hanging out all day, and it's going to be an absolute blast. And so don't miss it. Learn more about it on Cigars Daily Plus and on Rumble. Okay. Billy, give me a good comment right here. I want to see what's happening. Corey B says, I need to see Tim H. Swanson drink C4 from his magic cup at 134 degrees.
That sounds nasty.
Ugh.
That sounds nasty. Oh my
Challenge
Does it?
accepted.
Does it sound nasty?
hot
Does
energy
sound
drink.
nasty?
Oh,
You'd
no.
have to get like hot apple cider is not bad. You just have to get the right flavor.
No.
I'm willing
Yeah.
to try it. I'm willing to ruin an entire C4 to try that.
Do you want me to go grab your mug right
no,
now?
I don't want you to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is cold, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Now that I've said that, I've realized that I'm not that committed to this. So, sorry about that, Corey.
It's right here. I can go grab it for you right now.
No.
Okay.
We're quite all right. All right, Billy, keep it going.
I need your best panicked voice.
Oh no! Kyle Poe says I need help. Need a thermoelectric humidor ASAP, guys, that holds 100 cigars loose. The humidor I have now is not holding stable humidity levels. Thanks. Kyle sounds worried. Wow, that's a bummer. Thermoelectric humidor. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to go around the studio. Terrence, what brand of thermoelectric humidor? Yours holds about 100. Well, I should say this: the way Terrence stores cigars, it's like a wardrobe that leads to Narnia. I'm sure there's stuff in there nobody's ever heard of or knows about that's many years old. You reach to the back, but and it's a cacophony of a mess of cigars. But what brand is yours?
So I haven't talked about this yet, but I do have a Need 148 liter, which is about 300 cigars, and then I've just recently converted a mini fridge into a humidor for myself. And
You converted a mini fridge into a humidor?
yeah. So
How big of a mini fridge are we talking about?
It's bigger than my 48 liter, but I put all my boxes in there. So I'll get a box, take the cello off, and then I'll put the boxes in that one because it has shelves, more shelves than my Need one. But that's where my Need one is, where I keep about at this moment about 150 singles or so, and then the mini fridge has all my boxes. So that's
All right.
but I would say if you were looking for a humidor, Need one Kingchi Adu anywhere between the 8 to 18 liter range, and if you need it now, Amazon might be the place to go. But then also, if you can wait a little bit, Black Friday and Father's Day, I've seen some crazy deals on humidors.
Yeah, but he needs it now.
He needs it. Did you hear the way I read that comment? He needs it right
That's
away.
why I said Amazon. You can,
Amazon. Oh,
compare and
no.
contrast. You know what I mean? But
Go get it in the rainforest.
All right.
Billy,
Billy,
we're not talking about
Billy's-
anything from Amazon right now. Not after last week.
No, we are not. Listen, Billy also has a converted wine fridge that he uses for a humidor, and that works pretty well for him, which you can find that kind of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, probably pretty cheap, as long as you don't plug it in with the condenser motor. Ryan uses a wooden humidor. He probably also still uses a telegraph. I don't know. He's old school as hell.
Yeah, okay.
How do you listen to your music again on a what is that, a sousaphone or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
He doesn't even know what I mean. We have to make relevant jokes about how old Ryan
I
is.
said
We make fun of
8-track.
him. An 8-track. That's pretty good.
8-track.
But you actually would you ever actually have an 8-track?
No.
Not in your
Okay, so
portrait.
you
parents
were
did. My parents did.
yeah, okay. Good. So 8-track is a good joke. Good. Yeah, I agree with what Terrence says. You mentioned Kingchi, Need one, Adieu.
I do.
Adieu. Also Arctic Star.
Oh, Antarctic Star is fantastic.
Yeah,
That's the Cadillac.
Antarctic Star. All right. Sweet. There we go. Yes. And I would write, and by the way, Need one and Adieu are kind of like they're the Hyundai Elantra of humidors, the Honda Civic of humidors, as I often refer to them. They're the most affordable ones that get the job done, like bing, bang, boom. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but you don't really need that, especially if you're storing your singles. The downside with those ones is that they have the flat shelves. So you said you're storing 100 loose cigars, so you may have to get a bin or a container to keep your cigars in so they don't roll all over the place. Act accordingly. All right, Billy, what is the next one? Aaron Mullen says, "Oh my gosh, he's not that old, guys. He's 46. This is Defender of Flat Earth's wife on.
Defender
Hi,
of
Aaron.
Defender of the
The defender of the defender.
flat earth.
Defender of Flat Earth. 46 years old.
Barely.
Barely
Just
46
turned.
years
Just
old.
turned.
And with that boyish haircut, you look very handsome. All right.
Yep. got some hair snip.
By the way, want all of Aaron's comments tonight. And I'm not going to let up for 1 second. I'm going to keep going until he starts crying. Right?
So
you know,
nobody gets to quit the band tonight, right, Tim?
Nobody quits the band, Ryan. Ryan is an incredibly good sport, and I appreciate and respect this about you, because we one of my favorite things is ball busting. And when I find somebody who can adequately bust their balls, and they bust my balls back, and Ryan does, I have a lot of respect for it. It's a touche type situation.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to keep grabbing your guys' comments and questions, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble, and we'll be coming to your comments on Cigars Daily Plus later during the after party, so keep dropping them down below. Ask your cigar questions. We're going to come into this topic of the top 25 list, but first, I want to do a segment. We do this segment basically every week on this show. And just so you know, when I say basically, I say that because it's not entirely true. There's weeks I forget to do this, but this week's important. I want to grab some pictures from the Cigars Daily Nation in a segment we call Pick of the Week. All right. These pictures are from the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group. When I look at pictures in our Facebook group, it's fun. It's funny. I like to leave comments that I consider quippy. I laugh at my comments when I leave them, and they're almost always making fun of you. Very rarely has one caused me to nearly spend a lot of money. And that's what this one did this week. I'm looking for number 2 there. I think,
yes, sir.
This one's from Chris J. He said, let's get this to be Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week, which is, by the way, not the hashtag. Hashtag Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. The hashtag is just POTW. I say we all get together and do a thing. He tagged me. He tagged Terrence. It's a picture of an article. The picture is, it's got 2 hands exchanging. It's got Billy's hands and Terrence's hands exchanging cash with each other. Very specifically.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of an island in the middle of the ocean. And the island is just about the shape of a PlayStation controller.
Yes.
And it says, this Caribbean private island is on sale for less than the average house in America. Which is a shocking thing, because when we think average house in America, of course, real estate's gotten obscenely expensive. Nobody's kids can afford houses. That's why they're still living with them. And that's why many of you smoke cigars in your backyard. You go outside and you're like, my kid is still living in the house. That being said, the idea of being able to put a down payment on an island and bring my dream of Cigartopia into real life caused me. I read this. I saw Chris's post. I looked at this and I was like, the price of a house, my gosh. And then I immediately started daydreaming about, like, what would it be like to buy an island, call it Cigartopia, and then go there and start growing tobacco immediately. And like, what are the logistics of this? How's it going to work? And how big is the island?
Is still not invited.
What's that? Terrence
is still
has
not
not been
invited.
to Cigartopia yet. So I thought about this very serious and very long and very hard before I realized that I spend, 60 plus hours of my week in the HQ, and that I don't have time to move to an island and, grow tobacco. It's Epstein's.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
There'd be
From
baby
Brazil.
bottles baby oil bottles.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that's yeah, I didn't zoom in.
So
enough
did you
to
look
see.
at this and see how much it actually goes
There was
for?
no clickable link for me to shop the island. I have done some island shopping before, because on TikTok, there's a guy that does a series called Canadian Real Estate versus Literal Islands. And I love his whole series on it. It's a parody about how obscenely expensive real estate in Canada is, which is, by the way, worse than the United States. I'm sure my Canadians will chime in the comments here, but I was like 20% of the way there when I saw that. But it made me immediately think, if I came to you guys and was like, hey, and you guys can comment about this as well. Eric Metzger says, rest in peace, TikTok. TikTok is still
back,
like,
bro.
it was down for 14 hours.
It
by
took
the
a
way.
little nap.
It
Yeah,
just
he
took
didn't
a
even
nap.
spell it right.
The servers didn't even cool down in America before they turned that stuff back
They
on.
didn't stop on it. It's like,
Yeah. Although this has nothing to do with Cigars Daily Live, so we're going to come back to this. But there's a whole trend on TikTok called, like, while the Americans are gone, you can do it in the search bar and, like, see what all the people are talking about, the Canadians and the Australians and stuff. Epson Ty Hansen says, Trump buys icy Greenland while Tim buys a warm Canadian island.
Caribbean.
Oh, no, it's Caribbean. Are we not in accord
Caribbean.
on this? Is this going to be like? Is this going to
Caribbean.
be like 2020? Is this going to be what divides our friendship? Billy?
Hey, I can't read.
We
so-
agreed on so many things through 2020. It's going to be Caribbean versus Caribbean that tears us apart. Okay, that was close to dangerous waters right there. That almost made a lot of references. Aaron E says it's $450,000. Yeah, I want that.
You're clicking. I'm clicking.
I'm clicking. You're clicking.
You
All right.
stop it.
Trump. Something about Trump.
Trump.
I'm done clicking. It's $450,000 from Aaron E. $100 says somebody watching this episode owns that island by the end of the week. You know,
That sounds about right.
if you do, I want a house. I want to come. I want to be in the fields with you.
Do not come.
I saw it for do not go. Someone else said they saw it for $475. So make sure you're shopping on the right website, I guess. They must have just lowered the price. It must have issues. Like, I don't know, a 1 foot
seagull.
tsunami would wipe it off the face of the map, something like that.
I'm assuming no plumbing, electricity, that kind of basic stuff.
Yeah, probably that
It's an
kind of
island you can
stuff.
go camp
It's
on.
got
basically.
spiders that are 3 foot long. And you're
When
like,
you're
you know
sta-
what?
When you're
Nah.
standing in the middle of the island and standing in the danger of a swordfish jumping out of the ocean and stabbing you in the chest.
So
like,
our
it's a small one.
audience tonight found it. It's Iguana Island, private island in the. What did we agree on? Caribbean.
Caribbean. Yeah. I like
C
Caribbean.
is on market for $475,000. The island is located in Nicaragua. They have good cigars. It's
Excellent.
perfect for swimming, fishing, and watching stunning sunsets. Nothing about cigars.
Yet.
Yet.
12 miles off the coast of Nicaragua.
12
Does it
miles.
say how big it is?
It is
I want how big it is in square feet, please.
Yeah, and then
5
acres,
acres?
please.
5 acres. Yeah.
Dude,
And it already has a house on it.
with
It's
5 acres, you
nice
could do
house.
it, man. I mean,
Oh,
not
okay, it's
really.
like a nice little
Not
bungalow
really.
kinda
You
thing.
couldn't really do it, but you sort of could. I mean, with 5 acres, you could buy the leaf and you could put it in a warehouse out there. You couldn't really grow very much. It's the size of a parking lot. Okay. Listen, I'm not saying it's out. I'm just saying that the idea of I would be sitting there with a feather pen and a scroll writing my own constitution on the island of Cigartopia. Billy's reading a comment back there. So
I don't know
obscene.
if I can put it up. Terrence, is that safe?
Is it starred?
I'll
Sorry,
start it
yeah,
right now.
sorry.
It's
That's what it
starred.
is. This is what it
It's
is.
from Bunny. Our dear sweet Bunny.
Bunny? I don't see it in the
I
starred ones.
just added it.
We'll come. We'll. Oh yeah, no, we can do that during the after party. That's fine. That's fine. I'm good with that. Thank you, Bunny. Much appreciated.
Here, we'll put that up.
Yeah, Matt Coyne says raffle, Bunny. That's right, raffle from all of us. Let's keep cruising. All right,
You want
so
another pick of the week?
listen, I'm not opposed to revisiting that. We're gonna come. We have 2 more pick of the
Okay,
weeks to
yeah.
do. I'm not opposed to coming back to that. I'm also just to be clear, not opposed to buying an island at all. I mean, I would almost buy it sight unseen and then just show up day one. I mean, the movie that we'd make about that would be special.
Oh,
John says, Billy, do you need that so that you have a place to park your yacht?
Yeah, that's a great
do.
point.
You do. We need to put in a dock. I don't know how much
It
that
has a
costs.
dock.
Has a dock?
It has a dock.
Can we put the picture back up?
I don't know if it can fit my yacht,
I
but
don't know if this is the accurate picture.
Is that a dock? It does have a yacht dock.
the yacht dock. It's like
Well, you
yacht
could at least put your dinghy there.
I can put my
You know?
dinghy there. Quit playing with your dinghy.
The
dock
looks at
your
least-
dinghy on the island,
It's
please?
your island. You can do anything you want on it.
It's guys. We buy it and we're like, guys, it's not Epstein Island, it's Epstein Island. Corey B says, "Does Wrench want an island?" I honestly didn't
Holt
think
type
to
that
ask
comment?
her. I would
She's
just
in
so
the
you know,
chat tonight.
and
so.
and she fully expects this. The Wrench would fully expect me to buy an island without telling her, and she would find out by watching this show. And the episode would be from the island. I'd be like, guys, I'm on Cigartopia Island. And she would comment in and be like, wait, are you not coming home? She
That's
is
why you
at
left
this
early.
after 7 years, she's used to learning about everything with all of you. And it works for our marriage, seems to anyway. All right. Let's keep
Yeah.
yeah, go for it.
Sorry,
You were starring stuff.
I started.
Cigars and ASMR. Okay.
Is it just like him? Like,
Is that what the internet is now? Do we just mash up anything together? Like we
With
just put
ASMR.
ASMR. You know, I've done some cigar ASMR videos, and I need to go check this channel out to see how much my cortisol levels drop when I watch your videos, if it's real ASMR. And the ASMR doesn't stand for some other stuff that's inappropriate.
Oh.
You son of a bitch. All right. Hey, love your channel. This is what ASMR sounds like to me. It's really sad to hear that Willie Herrera has discontinued the Miami Esteli. What are your thoughts on that decision? Do you think that it was the right move for Drew Estate? So, yeah, I do. 1,000%. Let's talk about that. So we talked about this on the channel a while back. Drew Estate announced they were going to be discontinuing several of their cigars.
Mhm.
And Terrence, am I wrong? But the Norteño was on there, wasn't it?
Norteño and all of its sizes. Yes, sir.
Keep talking, because
And
I'm
also
blowing
Herrera
up.
Esteli Miami in all of its sizes as well. And I don't remember it, but I think was it the Hoya de Nicaragua Antonio CT? Was that on there? Or was it a different
Cabinetta?
Antonio? Was it the cat?
It was
It's a Hoya on there as well.
Okay. I'll
And-
say this. I don't think Jonathan Drew sits in his office with a dartboard with all their cigars on it and just throws it at it to say, what are we going to discontinue? I think that when they discontinue a cigar, it's based pretty much directly on one thing, and that's demand in the market and nothing else.
Yeah.
Drew Estate is they're a professional cigar company. All right. They're as professional as it gets. I think Drew Estate has lawyers that work in their office there. And I only say I think that because I met the lawyer when I went there, and he told me what I couldn't say and do. And I was very appreciative of that, because he's a guy I don't want to see again. And so when you talk about a cigar that they discontinue like that, what I love, and this will begin our conversation of the top 25 list, is the way these top 25 lists, sometimes they sort of hit the nail on the head.
Yep.
Sometimes they whiff so bad that you've just got, like, it's mystifying. Like the fact that Cigar Aficionado's top 25 released the Norteño as one of the top 25 cigars of the year, like a month after Drew Estate announced they're going to discontinue this cigar. It's like it came out. It was, I forget what it was. Maybe it's in the teens or close to 20.
I think it's in the top 10.
Did I leave it? Oh, did I really? Cigar Aficionado. Come on now.
You and
Cigar.
me both are doing this search right now.
There it is. All right, I'm pulling it up. I want to know what number it is. Billy, will you take and read a comment? It's not number
Yes.
10.
Oh, it was number 19. You were correct on the teens, sir.
Teens.
Billy, what is a comment looking like right
Terrence,
now?
we're going to need some help from you because you typically get this. Here we go.
Okay.
This is Loud R3D. CO
Loud
Billy,
Red.
you're a stud. Thank you. Okay, now my question. I have been getting the same stone fruit note in all the cigars I enjoy. Is that normal? It's weird because it's the only note I get now.
Well, if you're only getting this note from cigars that you enjoy, there's probably that through line of that stone fruit note that you enjoy, so that you keep gravitating to those cigars. But if you're getting that in every cigar that you have, I would say that might be something going on with maybe your palate or what you're pairing all your cigars with for you to be getting that flavor note out of all of them. Maybe you're having some plums and cherries before smoking.
I'll comment on that briefly because I've noticed that too. It's called palate rut. I made that up just now, by the way. It's like, but I've seen this before where it's
That
like
sounds dirty already.
I get cinnamon out of cigars, and I find I get cinnamon, and every time I smoke cigars of a certain strength or darkness, I'm finding cinnamon is pretty the common flavor note between brands across different blends. And so what I have to do is drastically change what I'm lighting up. So go completely away from that, go to some Connecticut's, really take myself out of that rut and take my palate away. Listen, Nissan 570 SX says, aren't there more picks of the week? And he's right, there were. We were talking about that island.
Someone also asked, what are stone fruit notes?
Those are going to be your fruits with a pit and not seeds. So cherries, plums, and apricots.
Can
kinda
you
deal.
eat those?
I can. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to dive right back into the pick of the week. I got a couple more. We're talking about the winter season, and this winter season, I love the idea of the cigar tent. I come back to these on a weekly basis. I got no problem doing it because I think a cigar tent is a great way to create your own private space to have a cigar, get rid of the neighbors and they're complaining, and get into some warmth in a controlled space where you can, enjoy an episode of Cigars Daily Live or something like that. But this one kind of caught me off guard. This is that one right there. This one's William W. He says, #playoffs, nice setup by a pop-up cigar shop. And he's in a tent.
It looks like a Walmart parking lot.
It looks like a Walmart parking lot, but he's got a very nice space heater.
Yeah.
He says pop-up cigar shop. I think he just put that tent up in a Lowe's parking lot. That's what I'm pretty sure it is.
In between where they got the sheds over there on the side of the parking lot.
Yeah. He's right. He just saw that thing put up. That's the model. That's the floor model. And he just went inside. He's like, oh, it's already got a space heater. Sweet.
That's a massive flask as well.
I was
Look at
gonna
that
say
thing.
maybe that was like the smoking area because you could be living somewhere cold, and so like there's the smoking tent that's a smoking area, and he's like, I'm just gonna have a cigar in here.
I'm just gonna come in here and have a cigar. I do like this though. It's a tent with these vinyl windows on it, and the windows have little tape strips on them, so they look like proper windows. But I really like the overall look and feel. Like it doesn't feel like you're in the holy of holies, like you're in a secret place. You're not in a she shed. You're in a room. Feels like you're in a room, and it opens it up a little bit. That would be a comfortable place to enjoy a premium cigar. And he looks like he's got a very nice ashtray there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine. But this next one weirded me out a little bit. This is why it looks different. I literally screenshotted this on my phone right before the episode. Take a look here.
Whoa.
This one's from Anthony A. He put this out right before the show. I didn't even have time to do it on my computer. That's why it's in night mode. Setting up for tonight's show, trying to use my burn drum for a small pit fire to keep warm, and I still don't. And I didn't open the rest of the text.
That's a very liminal.
This is like Blair's Witch version of casting
That's
couch.
the first thing that came to mind. I was like, this is the Blair's Witch of cigar tents. Now, if you're listening to the podcast of this, here's what we're looking at right now. This is like it's like one of those like Armada.
Yeah, it's a pop-up. Like
It's a pop-up. It's a pop-up. Behind the pop-up, cigar interrogation from Chris CPU. Okay, let me. Billy's gonna throw up some comments. I'm gonna continue describing this.
Okay.
It's a pop-up. Behind the pop-up is tethered what appears to be a green screen. And it's got no other side. So there's only one side, that's the green screen. In front of that green screen is a chair with what appears to be a rifle sitting in it. And I don't know why. Next to the table, next to the chair, there's a green table with a stinky ashtray sitting on it. But in front of the pop-up, pointed directly at it, is the brightest light I've ever seen in my entire
1
life.
million lumen flashlight.
It looks like this thing is only set up to tie someone to that chair and force them to watch an episode of this show at gunpoint. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, this is some messed up stuff that's going on right now somewhere in the woods in Mississippi or something like that.
You
I don't
ready
know.
we've got some good comments on this.
All right. Billy, will you take them and read a couple?
Luke Martineau, that man gives himself less than I give my cats.
He's like, tell me what stone fruit means right now.
Tell me what a stone fruit is.
Ed Williams, put the cigars in the basket.
Cigars in the basket.
It puts the glue on the skin.
Brokeback Mountain setup.
Whoa.
Whoa.
From John
Whoa.
Weiss. My goodness. All right.
Go for it, John.
That one is behind the Walmart.
That's pretty good. All right, I'll take the rest of them, Billy. Give them to me. I want to read them. I want to get them.
He wants them in his hands.
Matthew Vassar says, "You want to smoke a cigar? I know a spot.
The spot be like.
It's only 30 minutes from here in the middle of the forest." Let's see. Matt Coyne says, "Where you hide your Amazon basins." This is true. You dig them up and then you this is like American Psycho level stuff right here. All right, give me one more. I can hear the banjos in that pic from Caleb Erosa. 100% yes.
I'm getting so nervous. Why are there so many banjo references tonight?
All right, there we go. There it is. Those are the pick of the weeks. When you make a cigar tent, the goal is to create a place that's comfortable and warm, that ventilates smoke, and does not facilitate the capture or murder of anyone that you don't like. All right. The Hills Have Cigars. I saw that one. That was great. That was great. Yeah, The Hills Have Cigars. Thank you, Josephus Comedy. That's the best one. Let's see. Saria Strickland says, when they say they smoke backwoods, in the backwoods.
In the backwoods over there in Country Folk Place.
All right. Keeping on cruising. Let's take a couple more comments. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below. We're going to come to them very quickly. Johnny H says, what's everyone smoking at the HQ tonight?
Oh.
So let's dive into this top 25 cigar thing. All right. We're going to come and Billy, leave this comment up from Johnny only so that I don't forget about it, because
Deal.
we all know that's exactly what I'm about to do.
Oh, yeah.
Top 25 lists come out around this time of year. If you're relatively new to the world of aficionados, welcome. This is how it works. Around the end of the year, the beginning of the next year, you get the top 25 list from that year. So the top 25 cigars of 2024 are all being announced and released right now. In fact, today, January 20th, has been a monumental day because Half Wheel put out their consensus list, which I'll tell you a little bit about. But throughout the holidays and into the new year, there's top 25 lists and top 10 lists from all over the place. The big publications like Cigar Aficionado and Cigar Snob and Cigar Journal typically all have a top 25 list of what they say are the 25 best cigars of the year. Then you've got every blogger and vlogger and anybody with an opinion has sort of a top 25 list that they put out. Some of them are a little lazier. They do a top 10 list. That's okay with me. It doesn't bother me. And then there's even one other type of list, and that is like the community-driven top list. Now, all of these are different, and all of them give like strike out to some degree and hit home runs to some degree. Normally, I'm incredibly critical of these lists and what cigars they put on them because I never fully agree with any of them. If I were to put together my own list, and by the way, Cigars Daily does not participate in this top list stuff. We never have, and I'm not saying that we never will. I'm just saying it's not anything that's a priority for us right now. And this is something that and part of the reason is because it's such a swing and a miss so much of the time. I'm usually bashing the top publications for the ones they come out with. Although the thing I can say for the publications that they do very well is they explain to you their process, how they come up with their top cigars, what criteria do the cigars have to meet up with in order to be considered top 25 worthy. That's important to know. And when I go for a top list, that's one of the first things I look for. If you watch some of the bloggers and vloggers, they're just telling you about the cigars they think are their top 25 cigars, which may or may not be valuable to a person unless you watch their reviews or read their blog posts and you're like, yes, they're right about a lot of the cigars. I agree with what they say about cigars. Then their list might be more or less relevant to you. The best ones to me are the community-driven ones where it's like, hey, this group of followers over here came together and we said, these are our top 25 cigars. Dear God, Terrence is raising his hand behind the camera. Terrence.
So what had happened was in their rules of this list, they said there are no user lists included inside of the Half Wheel consensus.
No, I haven't gotten to that. I haven't even gotten to
Okay,
the consensus list yet. We're not even there. We're not even
I know. Okay,
Okay.
my bad.
All right. So those are the few different types of lists. The community list is a group of followers. They come up with the list. So major publications, typically some panel somewhere. Then there's the individual list. Then there's the community list.
Mhm.
There's one other type of list, and that is Half Wheel. Half Wheel does their own top 25 list. And then they come out with another one called the consensus list, where they take a bunch of different top 25 lists. Some of the publications. Well, Terrence, who the hell did they include on the consensus list?
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like they did it different this year.
So they had a bunch of different publications, reviewers. There's so many to name. Binge Smoking, D Love and Wife. There's Johnny OCD. There's Cigar Hound
Sure.
Dog. And they have a bunch of people. I think there was a total of like 50 or so people that they involved with this list, and they went through and did a points value for how high the cigar ranked, and then how many times it was ranked, and that's kind of how I'm assuming they put this all together. I've been trying to speed run reading all the rules right here, so that way.
But that is the key of the Half Wheel consensus list:
Mhm.
is that it's the top 25 cigars that appeared across the most top 25 lists for the year. So if you want like the most relevant set of information, to me, Half Wheel's done it. They put that together, and that's a lot of work to do, and I'm glad that they do it. Now, what we've got tonight around the studio, and some of what we're talking about, is I've compiled lists from 2 of the lists that are out there. One of them is Cigar Aficionado's top 25 list, because so many people regard that as the list. Cigar makers, people in the cigar industry, pay attention to first and foremost what Cigar Aficionado puts on their list. They just do. No matter how much you like or hate Cigar Aficionado's top 25 list, it ends up being the one that gets sort of the most attention. And then I also just love the consensus list so much that any of the cigars that we have in this room tonight are from one of those 2 lists, either Cigar Aficionado's top 25 or the consensus list. I'll go first. Mine is one from, believe it or not, Cigar Aficionado's top 25.
Yeah.
That if I was to put together a top list, this cigar would be on my top list. It's Foundation's Axum Claro. The box pressed is incredible, like very, very good medium bodied cigar. That's what I've got. Defender of the Flat Earth. Take us into it.
I've got the Oliva Serie V Milanio Maduro.
Ooh, did you get the torpedo size too?
No, I went with the Toro.
Was the torpedo the size that was on there?
Yeah.
So the size stuff, I never pay attention to that. I
Yeah.
know there's some size queens out there.
Size don't
We're like,
matter.
Yeah, size. Thank you. Yes, I
It is
agree.
about the motion of the ocean, not the size of the boat.
That's exactly right. All right. So you've got, what size did you choose?
He said Toro.
Toro. Okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
And the Melania, by the way, Serie V Melanio Maduro is on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 every year in one blend or the other, one size or the other. There's always one. There never isn't one
Yeah.
that I can remember for the last like 7 or 8 years. All right, Billy, what have you got tonight?
I've got the Foundation's Night Commander.
Ooh.
Which is part of the
Which on the Half Wheel consensus, because they didn't say which specific blend. They just said Foundation's Tabernacle. They use some how would I say, just blanket terms for some of the blends for sure.
Yep.
But how are you enjoying
It's
that
good.
right now?
It's strong.
I told you it's strong on
It's
everything.
got some
ain't it?
punch to it, but it's a very smooth punch.
Real smooth punch. It's like a boxing Kenny G, if I could.
Yeah,
something like
boxing
that.
Kenny G. That's such a weird thing to say. All right, Terrence, what have you got tonight?
I have my father, the MF and Judge.
The Judge, the cigar of cigars.
Cigar
The
of
most coveted space on any list is the number 1 space on Cigar Aficionado's top 25. Listen, if a cigar earns the position of number 1 on Cigar Aficionado's top 25, the representative for that brand, their cell phone will break ringing. Like it'll literally break the phone. And I literally called my father guy the day that it got the top 25, because the joke is you call them and you order 500 boxes, because no matter what you do, they're going to run out of the cigar immediately. And then eventually for all year, all the cigar shops that are out there are going to get 2 and 3 boxes of the thing. They'll have trouble filling it.
Yep.
So I like to call the guys and just joke. I'm like, yeah, put me down for 500 boxes. And they, of course, laugh, because that's a hilarious thing to do.
Yeah.
Billy, I want to grab comments from the people, and I'm curious to know what you guys watch. If you've seen Cigar Aficionado's top 25 or the consensus list, did they hit the nail on the head with a cigar? Did they miss? Did they miff it? I'm curious to know. Drop those down in the comments below, and we'll come back to them. Billy's got Robert Rayburn says, do they ever have limited release cigars on the top 25 for Cigar Aficionados?
Oh, do they?
Do they ever? Dude, I got to tell you something. There's some stuff that drives me absolutely bonkers.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them is when you put a limited edition cigar on the list that's already vanished from the cigar world. And that's exactly what Half Wheel or Cigar Aficionado did this year. And so did Half Wheel with the consensus list, by the way. The Espinosa 601 La Bamba Warhead 10 is on both of those lists.
Yeah.
That was a cigar that came in a box shaped like the old-fashioned, like 1950s bomb they dropped from the A10s or whatever. It was like the 1950s pinup girl bomb type thing. And that cigar was gone 6 months ago. Like if you can find that cigar anywhere now, you'd be a magician, because it's so impossible to find out there. Yeah, they do put limited edition cigars on them. It drives me absolutely nuts because every time they do it. But then again, Cigar Aficionado put the Norteño on there, which Drew Estate already has discontinued.
And about like 6 Cubans or so or whatever.
Yeah, they always put a bunch of Cubans on there. Bunny Rojas said, "Did anything flavored or infused make the list?" I'm gonna make a statement right now that I want to be clarifying. I'm not aware of any flavored or infused cigar ever making any list. Period.
Well,
Terrence.
Well,
what?
I'm just gonna say on the
What?
half-wheel consensus,
No, I'm going to look right now.
there was a Wagashi and that it's not technically a sweet cap, but it's a little bit sweeter.
That
than
doesn't
most.
even remotely begin to count
Well,
as
it's a
even a sweet
cap.
tip cigar.
whoa. Steve Saka would put you.
Whoa.
Steve Saka,
hold up.
Wagashi's not sweet tipped, and Steve Saka would say that it's not sweet tipped.
There we go. All right.
But no, I would say a cigar that's Corey B's like nerd.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going for.
What Macanudo cigars made the list? I don't think any. Hold
I
on,
feel
let me
like
go
he
to the
likes
list.
M things because his name is March Montenegro. He's like, what Macanudos made the list?
So listen, I said this on the show last week. I'm going to say it again this week. Like when it comes to Cigar Aficionado's top 25 list, it's different every year. There's different cigars on it, but you can kind of count on some stuff. Like there's usually a Padron Anniversario of some sort. There's usually an Oliva Serie V or Milanio. There's usually 2 Cubans. Typically, they're
Yep.
usually like in the upper top 10, top 15. You'll often find an Espinosa. You'll usually find a Rocky Patel on there. I mean, there are some common,
Usual suspects.
usual suspects for that list. EPC is on there. In fact, the number 3 cigar of the year is EPC's Encore, which was also like the number 1 cigar of 2017, I think in a different size. So grim. Half Wheel sounds like the caviar eating group versus the hamburger and chicken nugget loving community group.
Okay. So they're saying that the half wheel guys are a little bit more down to earth, while the cigar aficionado guys are the more suit and tie kind of gentlemen.
That's not true. Like I would say that if the cigar aficionado guys are like the caviar eating type, the half wheel guys are like they like something on the Thai menu that no one's ever heard of type of guys. Like they're weird. I love them very much. Charlie Minato and Patrick Legreed are great people. They're weird. I've hung out with both of those guys, and I would hang out with them any day of the week. But if you ever seen Patrick Legreed smoke a cigar, it's like watching something in slow motion. I've never seen anybody smoke a cigar. I would enter Patrick Legreed into the National Cigar Smoking Contest and bet on him to win in any country in the world because he smokes so
He's like the
ridiculous.
sloth from
It's like the sloth from
Zootopia.
Zootopia. Every time he goes to take a draw off his cigar, he brings a cigar up to his mouth, and I'm like, that's going to be out. And then he puffs on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, wow, it's still going.
This is
What a
why they
trooper.
get like amazing flavor notes on half wheel. Like that's why they're getting stone fruit and stuff that I'm not getting because they're just letting the cigar stay cool the entire time. Meanwhile, we chooch here.
That's right.
We go through so many. So
All right,
fast.
get some comments, Billy. I'm going to try this one. Amartencha says, Billy, the man who is as handsome as his wife is Spanish. You are as handsome as your wife is Spanish. Wow. What a comment. Tell me cheroots were on the list. So cheroots did not make it onto any list.
They were
They
26.
wanted Billy Chicky Stickies on there. And I said, guys, it's just too hard right now. It's hard to find them anywhere. So we're going at the Billy Chicky Stickies.
Billy
didn't make
Chicky
it.
Stickies. They go on their own list.
Yeah, they're their own list.
Oh my god.
All right, keep it going, Billy. What else are people saying in the comments? Where did the filthy Viking land? From Corey B. There was a
Greenland.
What?
Greenland.
Greenland. Yeah, I land on Greenland. There was a
Dang.
list the Filthy Viking was on. It was a community-driven list from Oak Glen Cigar Society. They had 1 year they had the Filthy Viking in the Lancero. 1 year they had Liga Zebra, and I think another year they had Dama Velada, which was a huge privilege for me because I never expected any of my cigars to be on any list. I'm choking on my drink. On any list anywhere, and to have them picked for a community-driven list,
Yeah.
that means the world to me. All right, keep on going.
I'm sorry, I got thrown off by a comment trying to interpret it.
Charles Wilson, how would you respond to all the misc questions in this B chat?
How will you respond
Will
to
you
all
respond
the
to all the
questions?
misc questions in this B chat?
Miscellaneous.
Yeah, I like, of course. That's the idea.
But in this, I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted by that. All right, back
Well,
to
if a miscellaneous question pops up, we'll take it, but we can't take every comment. There are already more than 700 comments on this video. We can only take so many. We got 10 minutes left before we go to the after party. By the way, you can learn more about DailyCon. We're going to go talk about DailyCon and what's going to be at DailyCon, where you can meet Eric Espinosa. That's going to happen during the after party. We're going to talk a little bit more about the top 25 lists, and we're going to do so more freely because we're going to do these on Rumble and on the community on Cigars Daily Plus, where there's less guidance. There's less guidelines.
No training wheels.
No training wheels. All right. This next one is, and I'm going to star one. Go for it, Billy. I'm going to star one that I want to take. Anthem Spade. Tim, please give us an update on the Room 101 15th anniversary. It's going to be great. It's the 15th anniversary, the quinceañera, a year late. I've got mine secured. So that's all I've got to say. And it's not going to be like any Amazon basing business.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be just fine.
I can't wait for all the calls.
Ed says, let's see a Cigars Daily top 25 list. I've never done this. And there's a reason that I've never done it. How do you do? I mean, what's the best way to do a top 25 list? What's the best criteria? Go, Ryan. What's the best criteria for a top 25 list? Go.
I think
Say
you
it.
start picking out ones that you like, I suppose.
Okay. Billy, what's the best criteria for a top 25 list?
the four of us decide our top 25, then you mash it up to be the top 25 of how they place.
Dear God. I didn't understand not one bit of that.
I think there's a point system there and all kinds of stuff.
Terrence, what's the best criteria for a top 25 list? Everyone's
You
going to
take a list of all the cigars you've reviewed this year, and whichever one's got the top, you put in that list in numerical order.
Okay. And I say it should be based on supply and demand. So already just sitting around the studio, we've got 4 different ways to look at how you would do a top 25 list. I've thought about this in no small amount. If I did a top 25 list, it would be based on something specific that I will tell you about during the after party and during the after party only.
Yeah.
And so there you go. It bada bing, bada boom. Let's take
That would be a good idea. Just saying.
I like, first of all, I'll say this. All of your ideas are good ideas. Like, yeah, what are the best 25 cigars? I would love to sit down and tell you what the 25 cigars that I was like, oh, yeah, that's the best one. And what Billy said, some magical formula
you take
that
the
we
4 of us, kind of like half wheels. You take the 4 of
Oh,
our
the
list,
CD live
and then
consensus.
build it out by if you rank number 1 and I rank it number 2 and he ranks it number 4 and number 3, then you find the median.
average.
And
okay.
average.
I getting a better vision of what you're saying now. Yes.
So we're all putting El Rey del Mundo at number 1, though, right? Like that's obviously right.
Not me.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Be like that.
Yeah, I do agree with all that. I think all those are interesting ways. And by the way, all 4 of those different things we've said would compile 4 completely different lists.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is why I always rag on these top 25 lists so heavily, because if you do a top 25 list anyway, you'll do it differently than if you use a different criteria, and it ultimately produces an overhyped list of cigars.
Oh yeah.
And so for the new aficionado, if they're looking to these top 25 lists as like, oh, these are the best cigars out there, they may be very well disappointed if they listen to the hype. It would be like if you go to the top charts and you're like, all right, I am new to liking music. I'm going to start listening to music now. And you go to the charts and you're like, this Taylor Swift guy sounds really good. I'll listen to his music. And then you turn it on. You're like, dear God, what is that?
Who broke his heart?
That's what I'm saying. It
This
overhypes it a
flatback
little
bastard. I'm sorry.
Dear God. All right. Let's keep going. All the Swifties just logged off. Big Lou 1228 says, Tim, a lot of talk about the top 25 cigars, but how much does the factories where they're made impact the quality? Why not have a top 10 factory list? Actually, I'm pretty sure Half Wheel does.
I don't
Half
think
Wheel-
they have a list of them, but they do a factory of the year, they do a brand of the year, and
Yeah,
they do packaging.
They
of
do
the
it. They
year.
do a cigar making country of the year, I
Yes.
think. And Nicaragua's won it the last 30 years or something. I think. I mean, I got to go find all their review list, top 25 release list. Yeah, and they've got their own top 25 list. If you want to nerd out about the factory and the farm and the field and the seed and the blend and the cigar maker and all the stuff, no one will let you nerd out more than Half Wheel will.
I love those guys.
Yeah, I love them too. They're weird. Okay, let's keep cruising. Keep getting us comments, Billy. These are good. This one's from Mac. What air purifier and smoke eaters being used in the studio?
Me.
Our lungs.
That's not the case. You can't see it, but if you're looking at the side of the screen, next to the barrel here,
Ryan's camera.
can you see it on Ryan's camera? Yeah, you got to take down Mac's comment. There's a rabbit air sitting right next to Ryan right there, which is, by the way, just where Ryan is sitting in the studio is actually just over my shoulder. It's right off to the side of the screen here. Can you? Yeah, there he is, guys. Ryan.
It's like the painting on the top of the Sistine Chapel.
I like when people come and visit and they come in the studio. I take people in the studio sometimes. They always walk in the studio and they see where Terrence and Billy sit and they're like, oh, this is where it all happens. They see my desk and they see Ryan's chair and they're like, oh. Really kind of
You
is a
put
cuck.
him there weekly?
Kind of is a cuck chair, isn't it? Yeah, he has to sit there in the corner
has
and
to watch all
in
the
in
action.
the corner like a weirdo. Hi.
You belong with the Half Wheel guys.
Oh my gosh. All right. Listen, it's a rectangular room. It's hard to put everybody everywhere. Okay.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner and nobody quits the band. We all know that. Keep them coming, Billy. Keystone 9K. Why do I always find myself cutting my torpedo cigars down over the time of smoking it? After a while, it seems like the draw gets tighter. Is that tar buildup? How? You know, it's possible. And I'll say this, the torpedo, it's very easy to cut too little off. And then you create a very small draw. I don't end up cutting my torpedoes again after the initial cut. But I also aim to cut a drawing area that's relatively similar to what you would get if you were cutting a round capped cigar. So my cigar right here is about a 50 ring gauge. My cut on my cigar, which there's just not a ghost of a chance of you being able to see it, is probably about a 48 ring gauge. I've just cut just barely to the shoulder of the cigar. That size, that about 48 ring gauge, is about what I'm going to cut on a torpedo cigar when I cut it. I also do it in an angle, so it's easier to cut a wider drawing space. I would maybe shoot for a wider draw when cutting a torpedo.
I've been doing the V's ever since.
Yeah, when you
said
cut the
that.
torpedoes, how's that going?
It's great. I mean, ever since you said that, because I was trying Terrence's
Punch
method, and you just
That's-
destroy your cap.
Thank you. Thank
not-
you.
You don't have
Thank
a sharp
you.
enough punch. That's all
I
I'm
used
saying.
your punches.
What punch?
I don't know. Whatever.
You ain't got no
have.
punching. We don't got no punching here, bro.
We don't got no punches.
We've got
We ain't got no
lighters with
punch in here.
punches
You-
on them. All right, keep it coming. Give me more comments, more questions. I agree. Terrence is wrong about the feet on the furniture, about everything. Not the cigar notes.
This
He's-
isn't
he's
all
right
cap.
about
The
100%.
V cuts do seem to be pretty, for me, they're pretty popular, and they kind of keep that, same mouthfeel of the torpedo, which is the reason you get it for it, I'm assuming.
Yes, and Marcus says I'd like to use a deep V cut on a torpedo.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
Tim, this guy's yelling at us, so I need you to get your yelling voice.
Please help! When my fireplace insert is burning, my need 148-liter humidity drops 69 to 60%. I have two 320-gram 69 Bovedas, 69, and temp is set to 70. What should I do
Keep your humidor out of the fire.
to keep up the humidity? Yeah, so it's weird how where you put your humidor is going to affect it. You keep it next to the fireplace or near the fireplace. When you turn on the fireplace, the heat from the fireplace is going to affect the humidity in your humidor. Similarly, if you put a humidor near like your exterior window, it'll behave differently than if you put it away from the exterior window. If it's sitting directly in line where an air vent is blowing on it, it'll behave differently than if it's, underneath that air vent where the air vent's blowing over the top of it or something like that. I mean, authentically, this is a pretty simple equation. Move the humidor, or expect the humidity to change when you have the fireplace on, which during the winter is probably difficult to do. If you can move the humidor, I would do that.
You're going to need a YouTube warning on this next one.
Jeez. Okay. J Garv 60 says, are there benefits of smoking torpedoes versus the round end cigars? There are no benefits to smoking cigars, just to be clear, at all. The difference between torpedoes and round cap cigars has to do with this magical thing we call mouthfeel. It's about the way it feels in your mouth, which is Freudianly uncomfortable to say. The truth is, there is this segment of the aficionado population that prefers torpedo cigars. It's small. It's pretty small. It's big enough that most brands will make, if they're going to make a cigar in 4 or 5 sizes, torpedo will be one of those sizes. But also to the point where if you're going to make a blend in one size, it's almost never a torpedo. Occasionally, there are some blends where the torpedo is just the most popular one for whatever reason. Some Monte Cristos are like that.
Yeah.
Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary, the number 2, which is the torpedo, was on Cigar Aficionado's top 25, was very, very popular. What's the other one I'm thinking of, Terrence? It's another Monte Cristo, I think.
Another Monte, was it the Monte number 2?
Like I think so. The Monte Cristo number 2. That one in the torpedo was like the most popular size.
Yeah.
But for most other brands, it's like the Robusto and Toro are the most popular sizes. So no, there's no like distinct advantage to a torpedo over everything else. And they're harder to roll. They require a little bit more expertise to roll. So they're kind of a pain in the butt. All right, keep it going.
You've got everybody saying mouthfeel jokes now.
Oh, yes. Mouthfeel gets really Freudian when it's V-cut. Wow, Matt. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Oh gosh. Why is it spicy?
Mark D, I see what you're saying.
Why is it so spicy?
All right. Listen, we've gone over for our time, and I've exceeded the amount of time I can do this show without being, more offensive. So we're going to continue this on the community on Cigars Daily Plus and on Rumble. This is the after party. It's where you can go to learn more about some of the top 25 cigars, which ones hit the mark and which ones missed the target completely. We're going to continue that conversation and talk about Daily Con on Rumble and Cigars Daily Plus. By the way, Cigars Daily Plus is our own platform. It's free and easy to sign up, requires your name, username, and email and a password. And that's just about it. So join us there or on Rumble to continue watching this episode. Otherwise, stay tuned for another great show next Monday night. This is Tim and the crew headed to the after party. We'll see you there.
And live your life.